Hello, everyone, and welcome to Angelic Guidance for Daily Living. My name is Carolyn McGee. I am an angelic life coach and intuitive healer, and I'm thrilled to be here to talk about the topic of wellness with a wellness expert, Genevieve Kohn. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Genevieve Kohn, like Carolyn said, and I am an abundance and empowerment guide, and I also help spiritual and health coaches grow their businesses online. And I love this whole topic of wellness. I've been in the wellness and health fields for 27 years, and wellness is something that we can all achieve. And it's something that we don't have to beat ourselves up over. It's something that each one of us, even with a little bit each day, we can do. And I love also the spiritual world. I have a background in energy healing, and I love crystals and essential oils and all that great stuff. So I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me, Carolyn.
You are welcome. All right. So as always, we are going to gather our energy together, whether you are watching us through the internet, or if you are on TV, anyone all across time. That's one of the beautiful things with the angelic realm, is that we are all connected. So if it is safe for you, just close your eyes for a second and let's take a few breaths. Breath work is one of the most powerful ways to engage, pulling energy together and also bringing wellness and physical well-being into our bodies. So let's just breathe in for one. And two. And three. Beautiful. So I usually end with cards, but I am feeling this little angel nudge from Archangel Raphael, who is known as the Archangel of Healing and also of the Heart. And this is exactly what you and I were talking about before we started. I went to get us water. So yeah, here we go. Hydration. Our bodies, and you may know this better than me, is something like 60% water.
Yes.
And, water is a conductor. Water is necessary for healing. Our cells, we actually can start producing too many enzymes and hormones if our bodies think we're dehydrated because they're trying to protect us. Right. So water is really critical, and especially now we're going into the winter season, with the heat on, we can become even more dehydrated. So that is an invitation and a reminder for all of us to drink a little bit more water.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what other tricks and tips do you have for people to keep their bodies, optimized and healthy?
One thing I would definitely suggest is to eat well. And this is a little maybe overly simplistic, but what we want to have in our bodies is things that are going to nourish us, not things that are going to challenge our bodies.
Yes.
When we eat, we want to eat things that are high in vitamins, minerals, protein, just about anything else that's good that you could possibly think of. When we put things into our bodies that are not healthy, our bodies basically react in an unhealthy way. Yeah. They just basically say, well, what the heck is this?
Yeah, it's almost as if it's attacking your body,
Exactly.
The insulin or whatever it is attacking the organs because it's a foreign invader and they don't know what to do with especially processed things and the chemicals that are in our foods now, unfortunately.
Exactly, and that is what triggers inflammation. And inflammation in the body just means that, just exactly what you said, Carolyn, that the body is attacking basically itself.
Yeah.
So that's what happens very often with autoimmune diseases and things like that. If one has an autoimmune disease, a great way to kind of scale back the autoimmune reaction is to eat healthy and to stay hydrated and all that great stuff.
Yeah, Yep. And one of the things that I've noticed and that I've been reading a lot about is that we have depleted the soil. So a lot of the supplements, a lot of the natural occurring minerals that would be in the foods that we eat, they're just not as prevalent as they used to be. So we do need sometimes to supplement things like magnesium. I know is really, it's important for the muscles. It's important for, well, your heart is a muscle, and it's important for that. It's important for sleep. It's, there's a lot of need for that particular mineral, and people are just not getting enough through the foods, even if they're very conscious.
Exactly, and that's a great point. Actually, I was going to mention that next, so I'm glad that you did, is that very often we do have to supplement because of over-farming over all the generations.
Yes.
There is not as much in the soil and in our plants as there used to be. So I've heard before, especially when I was a wellness coach, that, oh, I have everything I need because I eat healthy. Well, yeah, that's a great start.
Yeah.
Supplementing is kind of what's going to fill our wellness tank even more.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, and it's really important. And, one of the things that I have, I guess, learned through my journey is I need to check with my own body. Our bodies are so intuitive, our bodies are so smart that they know if something is good for us. Many times in the past, I've talked about how our heart is our most intuitive muscle. And you can check if something's good for you just by holding something to your heart. So, and different brands of things are going to resonate with each individual's body differently. I love essential oils, and you do too, and we happen to use the same one. But I remember testing with my body different versions of essential oils to find what was going to be optimal for me. And there were certain brands that, although they're really good, they just didn't, I almost felt like my body was pushing me away from them. Mm-hmm. And then when I settled on the brand that I use, it felt like my heart glowed. There's just this warmth and expansion from it. And they are very powerful supplements and tools that people can use.
Exactly. And I supplement basically the same brand of essential oils as what I use to supplement. And what's great about this particular brand is it's pure, unadulterated essential oils and pure, unadulterated nutrition.
Yeah.
So, when I was in my 20s and teens, I thought just popping a Centrum would be enough. And unfortunately, Centrum has got a lot of stuff in it, and brands like it, a lot of stuff in it that we don't need.
Yeah.
So it could actually trigger some kind of inflammatory reaction.
Yeah, because our bodies doesn't know what to do with this substance that's not natural. And for people who aren't familiar with essential oils are the essence of the plant that has been distilled down to a very concentrated form, and they're very powerful. They each have their own electronic resonance and vibration, so they can be utilized to enhance or heal different aspects of our energy. Really powerful stuff.
Absolutely. They're just such wonderful ways for us to heal ourselves directly. It's from Mother Nature.
Yeah, I know. Really amazing gift. Now, how do you utilize your spirituality in wellness?
For me, I'm the kind of person, maybe it's my Libra energy, I'm not sure, but I have to have balance. So I have to bring spirit into everything I do. And it's coming from many years of learning how to do it.
Yeah.
So it's not like I woke up one morning going, okay, I'm going to be spiritual and I'm going to do everything I need to do for my body, mind, and spirit. It's been a journey. So on my journey of just wanting to feel better emotionally, physically, definitely, and mentally.
Yes.
I started to understand that spirit was something that I just needed in my life, especially when I went to energy healing school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It becomes very powerful because, spirit or energy, it's our connection and vibration with everything that's around us. And by understanding that we are not isolated beings, we are all really connected, that, you and I sitting here, we're opening up our energy to connect and flow. And you people who are watching us out there in TV world, you're allowing us into your energetic field too. So it's beautiful. And we can connect with, deceased loved ones and receive messages from them. We can connect with our animal friends and receive messages from them, whether it is the spirit of the animal or it's your own beloved dog. They all have support for us. And, the same thing with the angels, that higher vibration aspect of ourselves. They're here to help us, and they each have distinct flavors. As I mentioned earlier, Archangel Raphael is known as the healer angel, and very powerful to ask for support, but you have to be able to receive it. That's the big thing. And have you noticed that in general in life, that people who are able to give and take, and take's kind of got a connotation associated to it, but
It does.
it really is, it's that taking in and receiving a gift from someone.
It really is, and life really is about give and take, ebb and flow.
Yeah.
The male and female, aspects of which we are all made. We all have male and
Yes.
female aspects of our inner being. It really is about that. It's about expanding ourselves to receive as well as to give.
Yeah.
We don't want to just keep giving and not receiving anything.
Right.
Because, sometimes as parents, we tend to do that.
Oh, yeah, then we just become depleted. There's nothing left for us,
Exactly. And I
Yeah.
learned pretty early on when my first son was an infant, that if I did not take care of myself and I didn't allow myself to receive, then I was in trouble.
Yep. Yeah, the analogy that I always use when somebody's having a hard time getting that concept is when you're on an airplane and they talk about the oxygen mask. You've got to put it on yourself first, because if you don't, you are not going to be available to care for your child or whoever it is that you're traveling with. So
Exactly.
we really do need to fill our own cup and our own energy.
Exactly. And when we stay connected with spirit, I think it's easier for us to remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, because then you're going to get messages, a little reminder, like the card that says, hydration, and just other things, that voice that you might hear, or the refrain on the radio of something that you've been thinking about, but it hasn't floated to the top of your reality yet, or maybe the top of your list, because we all have lists as humans, right?
We do, and we have to. Because if I don't write things down, everything goes on my Google Calendar.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, then, I'm not going to remember it.
Yeah, and then, things can float in that feel like they have a higher priority, but then if we've got everything documented and written down, and then we can, if we're more conscious about moving things and deciding what the priority needs to be, which is less
Exactly.
stressful. I think
It is.
I woke up the other day in the middle of the night because I had forgotten to write something down, and I was dreaming about it, which is one of the ways that my guides and angels get me information. I wish it hadn't been at 2:00 in the morning, but but I
That's
woke
happened,
up and I'm like writing it down so I could go back to sleep, and then make sure that I integrated it in and took care of it.
Right, yeah, and that's a great idea to
Yep.
do that. Because sometimes spirit does wake us up in the middle of the night.
Yep.
The trick is to be able to get it out and
Yes.
go back to sleep.
And go back to sleep, because sleep is very critical. I
Right.
think it's just as important as the food is in taking care of our physical wellness.
Exactly.
A lot of people feel like they can push through it or get by on a certain amount of sleep, not realizing that we're inflaming our body. we're making our organs and everything else push harder than they need to by not allowing it to rest and regenerate.
Exactly. And by giving ourselves what we need, it makes life so much easier.
It does, yeah. Yeah, it definitely does. So, like, what's a tip that you can give everybody for a way that they can maybe look at their health or their body in a different way?
What I would suggest is that one gets a pen and paper out, whether it's a notebook or if you keep a journal, and write, what are your goals? What are your wellness goals?
Yep.
And then from there, you can look into ways to achieve those goals. And like I mentioned before, I didn't just wake up being, reaching out for spirit, reaching out for wellness. It was a journey.
Yeah.
But if you don't start, how are you going to get there?
Right.
So that's, I think when we write things down,
Mm-hmm.
it's such an important way for us to get in touch with our inner selves.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of power in that, and it makes it more tangible. For me, I find that I actually process better if I speak out loud because I can hear it.
Yeah.
And I hear a lot of messages from my guides, so it actually reframes the energy for me to speak it, and then the next level up from that is for me writing it down. So because there's for me, it's a multi-step process to integrate the energy or the energetic shift that I want to have into my physical body.
That's a good point. Sometimes I need to speak it as well, because sometimes I'll have my pen and paper and I'll say, more times than I can count, what do I have to do again? Why do I have this in front of me? So from 1 minute to the next, it's I tend to be a little absent-minded, so and it's kind of a running joke with me and my family. So yeah,
But
definitely.
there's the power in doing that, and whatever works for you. A lot of times people get triggered by the word journaling because they think of big long proses or diaries or anything like that. For me, it's usually bullet points.
Yeah.
I'm a highly logical, analytical person, and I work best with really short statements that I can expand around. So for me, when I was initially starting this journey or restarting this journey, it was, I need to do it the way it works for me.
Exactly, and that's very often the way that I journal too,
Yeah.
is in bullet points, because sometimes it doesn't flow in just a prose type of way. It's just, it comes out like a list very often.
Yeah, but there's power in that because then we've got the list and the information available.
Exactly.
A lot of times I'll sit down to try and figure out what am I going to write about, how am I going to be of service, and oftentimes the topics will come in as just little tiny statements. So, and I don't need to know the detail behind it yet.
Exactly. I think as long as we have that from our minds, our hearts, it's kind of like an act of creativity.
Yeah.
So that triggers the flow of ideas.
Yep.
Of even if you need to research, say you have some wellness goals for yourself, you need to research how to make those happen.
Yep.
But it's so great to be able to do something that simple. So it's, there's nothing complicated involved in it, which is a good thing, because otherwise I don't think I would have done it.
Right. Yeah, it is, and it's something that anybody can do, and use your own strength too. I happen to write a lot of notes on my phone. There's a notes app, and I love that. I can keep track of things in there. But when I'm trying to get more in the creative flow, I take out a piece of paper and I write by hand rather than doing anything on the computer, because there's just this power of the kinesthetic part of allowing the energy to flow through me into the paper. And then sometimes I'll end up typing it, or I'll read it use voice to text. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a geek, but
I very often do that as well.
Yeah.
There are times where it's kind of easier for me to just do it on my phone or on my computer,
Yep.
depending on whatever's happening during the day.
yeah, yeah. And I think that's a really important part is you allow yourself to be in flow. You don't have to do it the same way every single time. You follow your own natural rhythm and your energy. And, if you're more creative in the morning, that's the divine feminine that you were talking about, then, try and structure your day so that you're optimizing that energy piece. If you're more, if your mind is sharper, sometimes people are really sharp in the morning or the afternoon. Everybody's different, but that's when you do your books. That's when you do things that require that processing ability, which is that divine masculine producing type of energy, and it optimizes our own energy in our body, which is part of wellness.
Exactly. And I think it's a way to kind of balance the masculine and feminine too, because you mentioned about the act of writing, but also the creativity, which is
Yes.
feminine, and being in flow, which is being feminine. So
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
a wonderful way to balance.
Yep. Yeah, it's really powerful. I do a weekly energy of the week, and there's times I can't do it in the morning, but I find that my energy is more in flow and the words are crisper because I'm receiving in a much better way if I do it in the morning. So it's just been fascinating for me to really honor and acknowledge and pay attention to when I am when I have the best use of which energy.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it is. Good. So I want to pull another card, give you guys some little bit of information here. I am using the Archangel Raphael. Oh, it looks like this one right through here. Acceptance.
Love it. And that's a very feminine quality as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And so it's acceptance of ourself, acceptance of our life, acceptance from other people, kind of accepting in that mode of the receiving energy. So, to really go with a flow, which is also that feminine energy versus try and make something happen. That is
Yes.
so draining on our physical bodies when we are trying to push against something. Yes, we want to be healthy. Yes, we want to make things happen, but it's much easier to allow them to happen.
That's so true. And also, I'm really glad that card was pulled, because I feel like for myself today, I really could use a little bit more acceptance.
Yeah.
So I think that's really fantastic. And I think it's also really important that we get more in touch with what we need,
Yes.
rather than, of course, there's things we have to do, like we mentioned before. We have to make lists. We have to get things done. I mean, everybody does.
Yes.
But really paying attention to our inner selves. What is it that we need?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and honoring where we are in this moment. It doesn't mean that tomorrow's not going to be different, or maybe an hour from now it's going to be different.
Right.
But where we are in this moment is perfect. It's all divine timing.
It really is. And thank you for that reminder as well, because even though every day we do our best, everybody does, each one of us does.
Mm-hmm.
There are times where Spirit shows us where we can make things a little bit easier on ourselves.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Well, we are getting down towards the end, and I always love to end with a meditation. So if it is safe for you, please close your eyes, put your feet on the ground, and calling in the energy of Archangel Raphael to surround you, to bring in his beautiful green healing energy into your hearts, to expand out from your heart and fill your entire physical body and energetic body with that beautiful green glow. whether you see things or sense them, feel them, know them, hear them, just know that you are surrounded by love and by healing energy. Know that you are loved not only by people in this physical world, but also by the angels, your spirit guides, those ancestors that have passed on. Because love is really the core of healing. It's love of ourselves, love of others, unconditional acceptance for where we are and where we're going. It's allowing our very intuitive heart to guide us lovingly and freely, without reservation and without obstacles, without fear. It's stepping into acceptance, nourishing ourselves with not only good food, proper supplements, adequate rest, hydration. It's also nourishing ourselves with positive thoughts, with support, with loving kindness. Genevieve, is there something you'd like to add?
I'd also like to add, since the angels are definitely present with us, you are watching this program right now for a reason. You are here for a reason. So just take a few breaths and feel your heart some more. And know deep in your heart that you are worth it. That spirit loves you. The angels love you. Because you deserve to be loved. So show some love to yourself as well today.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. So thank you all for joining us. We have a group on Facebook where you can go and watch past episodes if you are interested in that. It is called Angelic Guidance for Daily Living. We'd love to engage with you in there too if you've got questions about the angels or anything to do with, just living your best life and how you can reach outside of yourself for some support. We are there for you, so would love to connect there, and we hope that you have an absolutely amazing day and month. Bye-bye for now.